This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Yo, homies, another episode of the Big Homie's house. We got a special guest in the building, kicking with your homie this afternoon, morning, CAU homecoming weekend, impromptu episode. Miss Paradise Paris. How you, Paris the terrorist? That would need to be called. Paris the terrorist. Yeah.
Don't be giving me no bad name.
I mean, that's the name. That's the name. How are you doing,
I'm
darling?
doing great. It's good to see you.
What's the yes in real life, in not X's and O's on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it is good to see you.
I'm a real person. I exist. And,
I am too. I think I'm a figment of people's imagination.
Some people think you AI.
I'm a man.
Yeah, they think
I'm a man running a page.
Yeah, you think you're a man running? Oh, so you're a man with some? They put the girly effects on you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, she's real. She has a vagina. It's okay.
I do. Born one.
Born with one. Okay. So, what is the latest? I guess controversy that you've been steeped in.
Aside from Cardi B, I'm down here with her husband.
Oh man, listen, Cardi, I don't got nothing to do with this.
No.
I am uninvolved. Cardi. You are more than welcome to come back and clap back at her. All right, but. What happened with that?
We seen how that went last time.
What happened with the Cardi B situation?
She was hosting a space and she was talking about Joe. Shout out to Joe Budden.
Mm-hmm.
Good peoples. That's my peoples. And when she was hosting a space, I made a tweet and I was like, does she think she's above ridicule or criticism, right? Like, I think right now with social commentators and people who are in the music era, we have a lot of opinions. Mm-hmm. And those opinions sometimes can weigh just as heavy as the entertainers. So when that happened, she was checking her name through the search bar because I didn't tag her. I wasn't harassing her or nothing like that because I understand how that feels. And I went to sleep. She hit a tweet and delete. I genuinely think she took the tweet the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And the way she responded was just more so of one of them scan things where you see something you don't like, then you realize you misinterpreted because she deleted the tweet. And then, I woke up and we got active.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't even finna play like that.
So, I guess, how do you think she interpreted it the first way? And what was your message behind it?
My message was, just genuinely asking a question. Like, everybody's saying the same thing. Like, these people are torn. You have a lot of the rap ladies are doing their thing right now. Ken the Man is one of my favorites. She's signed to Rock Nation now along with Megan Thee Stallion, who is their biggest artist. Then Glow just dropped an incredible project. Lotto dropped a great project. Of course, Sexy Red is doing her thing. And you got JT and she's making waves outside of, the Young Miami City Girls, duo. But all in all, it is nice to see Cardi popping her shit, doing her thing. She gave some of the best features that we've seen on some female singles. So as a fan, as a person who wants to enjoy music, a different sound of music, I would love to see her pop out and be impressive and incredible like she was round one. It's time. It's go time.
So it really wasn't even anything with you being negative about Cardi. No. It was more just you as a fan ready to hear that new shit from Cardi.
Right, but also more so of, here's the thing, right? Everybody got a job to do. Joe Budden has a job, Casanat has a job, $1 million worth of game, they have a job, Breakfast Club, they have a job. You cannot control the people's perspective or their viewpoints or them demanding something from you. Yeah. Either you see it or you don't. You're not oppressed. You're not special. Yeah. You're going to get ridiculed. That's what that is. Megan is one of the biggest commercial artists right now. She can't make a hit to save her life. She can make something trendy.
All right, so what's a hit? What's a hit versus what's trendy?
Because something that's trendy right now is hot for a moment. It draws a wave, but trends immediately die and they fall off. You hop onto something else, right? So something like a new dance or, something like a new sound or whatever the case may be.
So the Mushi song to you, that was
a trend.
So you don't think Megan has.
That's not a song that has replay value. That's not a song that I'll put on and go like, oh, I was in my bag, or I remember when this popped out.
So you don't think that's some people gonna be listening to in 5 years?
We gonna be playing Swag Surf all weekend.
That's true. That's true. We outside. Clark Atlanta Homecoming. We outside.
In a year, I ain't even gonna say in a year. I'll say 7 months from now, nobody's gonna care about Mamushi. And now it's a beautiful thing to see women doing their thing and trying to ride away. But I promise you, next year when I'm getting ready to go out with my girls, I'm playing TGIF.
That's okay. I can see what you're saying with that.
Yeah, it's a trendy thing, and it's cool to have a trend, but something needs to stick, because right now, if me and my man get into it, I'm gonna put on "Be Careful with Me."
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on.
Yeah. So Cardi has those type of hits, but you don't think Megan has them?
No.
What do you think was Megan's last big hit, in your opinion?
Y'all gonna be mad at me. She made her best music with the baby. I would say her last biggest hit. I don't know, cause I kind of like Megan's piano, but I can't really say biggest hit, because a lot of that stuff was happening around the controversy with Tory, and it just
here's what I think. I think Megan is falling to the category of people. She's like a Beyonce almost, where people are fans of Megan Pete and not like Megan Thee Stallion. So if you're a fan of a person, no matter what they put out, it's going to be great.
Something.
But also, I realize some of the stuff that's pushed by Megan isn't really Megan pushing it. Like,
it's not.
I don't think Mamushi was a great, like, if you're talking about like hits versus trendy, I don't think Mamushi was a great pick for that.
It should have been Spin. It should have been with.
But I don't listen to Megan albums all the time.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, if it wasn't Spin with Victoria Monet, it was other songs. It was another song on there. I completely forgot. The album has no replay value. It's trash.
But I think that's a label thing. I'm just play devil's advocate on that. I think that's a label thing, because there was a song. It might not have been on Megan, but it might have been the album before that, where she had a song with Key Glock.
Yes, I did like that
that
song.
shit was hard.
It was.
That was like OG Megan shit.
But I'm a Key Glock fan. So, seeing those types of music and those records all come together, like I said, like, it ain't no static with CARDI or whatever the case may be. I don't feel like we're on the same level or we do the same type of thing, but I'm just one of a person of principle, right? Like, you gonna watch your mouth when you talking to me, because you want respect. I don't give a fuck how much money you got, who you is, where you come from. That don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah. And before I get off the Megan thing, I think Megan had a banger on that album with Glorilla as well. The How I Look with Glorilla is a banger.
Ate that verse up. So I was just playing
I don't think I'm never gonna question Megan's pen or Megan's ability to rap. I just think Megan's direction as an artist isn't really that of a traditional hip-hop artist. Megan is a pop hip-hop artist, and that's not a bad thing at all, because we've seen rappers do this as well. Like Lil Jon came from Lil Jon and East Side Boys. He was at Club Crucial. He was at Blue Flame. Now he's an international artist.
And he's incredible at what he does, but also Lil Jon is a producer, and Lil Jon knows how to rap, and he knows how to be multifaceted. He touches a little bit of everything. With Megan, it's not so much. I think that's also a part of the problem. They catapulted her as a brand, Megan Thee Stallion as a brand, more than they did as an artist. So now it seems like music is just on her to-do list. Like, it's something to do. Does she drop consistently, and is it continuous? Yes. But I also see where it's more so of her having an extension of doing the brand endorsement, things like that. And the difference is with CARDI, it made sense. It wasn't any controversy. It wasn't anything crazy or anything. Yes, she had the Nicki Minaj thing, but it wasn't something so much to the point where it defiled her or it made people second guess looking at her. Right now, what it feels like, what Roc Nation's trying to do, they're trying to clean up. And a lot of people are not convinced.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying there. And I think, like, with artists now in this current generation, you aren't gonna have a female artist or a male artist that's super hyper successful like Megan and CARDI is, and they are primarily rappers anymore. I feel like the world has expanded to the point where, like, even when it comes to like basketball players, like with Angel Reese, her first role is basketball, but like she said,
her now as a podcaster.
She's she's
And
bigger
an
than
influencer.
she's a social.
She's a socialite.
Yeah, she's a socialite. She's a social influencer. So I think Megan Thee Stallion doing Fashion Week, her doing commercials, her doing music as well. It's kind of like where it's almost like you ever watch your man play 2K or anything like that?
He played the game all the time.
Exactly. So like if Megan Thee Stallion was only good at rapping, it's kind of like a power forward that's only good at playing defense. But she's kind of more versatile, like the same with basketball players as well, where they can do a lot of things very well, whereas back in the day, they could just do one thing.
I'm gonna push
well.
back on that. I don't agree because we got Ice Cube, who is not only a rapper first, but he's an incredible actor. He does pride himself as a family man. He's a business, he's in entrepreneurship. He's a producer. He's a writer. He has a lot of things under his belt. You also have LL Cool J. He did the same thing. Will Smith. He did the same thing. Eve. She did the same thing, and not necessarily to say this is as on the same level, but it fits the category. Jennifer Lopez. So there were times, Jamie Foxx,
there were times
where they did other things outside of. I think the difference is now where the things that they're doing are not necessarily looked at as careers, right? Because it's one thing to be a writer, singer, producer, actor, where you're keeping a job. Typically Disney kids and Nickelodeon kids, they trained you to do all of those. You acted, you sing, you dance. You had to know how to do that. And so you would see them like Raven-Symoné or, Tatiana Ali putting out albums and stuff like that where they did those types of things. But
nobody
today,
listen to no goddamn Tatiana Ali.
I know you're not listening to them. Trust me. I know you're not.
But I mean,
what Megan
is doing is she's at the top of the game in multiple categories. Whereas
it's
like
more branding than it is actually
back then with
working.
Tatiana, that's for me. I grew up in the '90s, so like I couldn't name you one Raven-Symoné song.
Of course,
but I know a lot of Megan Thee Stallion songs.
But Raven-Symoné put out a song when she was a kid.
Yeah, and it was a lot different back then.
But
it wasn't a lot of Raven-Symoné's.
But Bow Wow kind of did the same thing.
It wasn't a lot of Bow Wows.
That's true, and it's
but now
not
it's a lot. Most of the rap girls are influencers. They're on TV. They're doing commercials. Most of the rap girls.
But I'm gonna tell you why I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it because now when you get a person who has marketability. It helps them to stay afloat.
And you have to have marketability now,
right.
or you're not gonna it's.
When the labels get ready to throw them away, like where is A. Marie now? We don't see her. Where is Jay Holiday? I know he's still running off a bed and stuff like that. Like they may be making performances, but those are great artists. We don't see them anymore. Imagine if they had the opportunity to be brand people or sponsors or ambassadors. Imagine if they had that. They wouldn't be gone.
Sometimes people can't handle that. Sometimes people just aren't marketable. Like there are a lot of great football players. Perfect example, like in Atlanta, we had Julio Jones. Julio Jones probably was the best, not even probably, he was the best wide receiver in Atlanta football history. You don't hear about Julio Jones no more. He wasn't marketable. You couldn't put Julio Jones in a commercial. You know who is marketable? Christian McCaffrey. That's why you see him every Saturday. Every Sunday on whatever the food commercial is. It's guys like Shadur Sanders in college.
That's true.
These guys are very marketable. So it's coming up that they just like that.
Shadur is a little bit different though, him and Bronny, because they have they've already had the payment set for them, and
but also it's players that had popping dads that were in the limelight as well that didn't have that.
But the difference is they're able to do that with their parents still being prominent and respectable. A lot of them aren't able to do that, right? Like Shaq kids could, but Shaq more so like, nah, you gonna get your ass out there and hustle on your own. Yeah. Whereas Bronny getting the opportunity to play alongside his dad. So for me, that's kind of like a checks and balances situation. It's one thing if it's, which I know Michael Jordan's son ain't fucking playing basketball, but it would be different.
He tried.
It would be different if Michael Jordan's son was playing currently, but his dad is retired.
Let me give you another example.
That's not gonna be the same as playing alongside your dad. You gotta watch yourself.
Zaire Wade is Dwayne Wade's son. He didn't playing in the G League. He ain't got nan commercial. He ain't got like nothing.
And
nothing.
that actually goes to my point because Dwayne is retired. And Dwayne is doing other things, right? Notable person, respectable in his field or whatever, they still, admire how he played the game and him being, NBA champion. But it's a lot different when you sitting there, you got to go to the locker room with your daddy. And then you got to turn around and get a phone call from your mama. And you then got to go home with your dad. It's a different situation. It's a checks and balances there.
Yeah. No, I feel what you're saying. And I just think it's a different era.
Yeah, because Shadir Daddy, his motherfucking coach.
Yeah.
So imagine you trying to get slick at the mouth with the coach. It's a different thing when it's your daddy because you already know he ain't finna go for that.
Yeah, and his other son, Shiloh, plays the same position. Like, he's a DB.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a DB. And shit, he's getting direct coaching from his dad on how to play the position that he used to play. So, yes, it's a lot of pressure on these athletes and these entertainers now.
But it needs to be because right now we in an era where everything is soft. So that's why everybody think I'm so controversial. I'm not controversial. I'm just saying the shit that they didn't want you to say.
But also, I'm going to add to that as well. I think for me, like not saying if it were me, because I get criticized a lot. Not a lot, but I get criticized in this line of work. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times the message will get drowned out by the messenger.
I ain't got no problem with that.
The message will get drowned out by the messenger because a lot of times, not saying this will happen with CARDI and you. If a nigga who ain't did what I'm doing try to tell me how to do what I'm doing, I'm like, boy, who the fuck is you talking to? You better shut the fuck up. Telling me you can't even do what the fuck I did.
But you know what's the difference is, right? For one, she made a tweet and delete, but I'm the reason why I got attention.
How are you the reason why I got attention?
Because that tweet got deleted.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was paying it any mind. I was getting tags. I was getting mentioned like, oh, CARDI tweeted you, da-da-da-da. It was finna go away. Mm-hmm. It was finna be nothing. Until I seen it got deleted. Mm-hmm. Because I had my own audience. I had my own following. I had people who genuinely fuck with me. Mm-hmm. And you know what I did? Made a video. Because it's time now. I made her come talk to me.
So you forced her hand.
If she's, because she tried to play that role too, like, oh, you're broke, this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. But my integrity, my morals, my principles, my characters, they way more upstanding than yours. So when you talking person to person, the message don't mean nothing when I am the epitome of everything you claim to be. First and foremost, I'm a black woman first. You talk about being hood, you talk about being in poverty. I done really ate off dope money because we was struggling, not because you was just fucking with a drug dealer. That's the difference.
So are you still a fan of CARDI? Or
yeah, absolutely. I love her music. I genuinely wish that her relationship, would have worked out. And I know people was like, oh, you was in her husband's DMs. No, I was antagonizing her. I know what your soft spot is. I know what's going to bother you. So it wasn't about, oh, I want Offset. Let me tell you something. I got a fine 6'5", dread head, broad shoulder, black man, baby. Offset ain't fucking with him. It ain't fucking with him. So when you talk about wanting somebody's man or husband and stuff like that, I'm not that type of girl. I don't have that type of brand that would even allow that to be a thing where they're like, oh, you a home record? No, because at the end of the day, I'm one of them people where when everybody meet me, they say the same thing. She practicing what she preach. She living how she coming. She the same way in person and offline. It ain't no faking with me. What you see is what you get. Now, if you fuck with it, that's cool. Go and get out my way. Don't come bother me because you don't fuck with me. But, if we rock with each other, if the vibe's tight or whatever the case may be, it's going to be mutual. It's going to be respect all the way across the board because I'm a woman first. That's how I carry myself. But with women, for sure, it's two things that's going to bother them. You messing with their man or you talking about their looks. It don't matter about the rest of it. But you can always pinpoint a woman's insecurities by her looks or her man. Pick one. And I'm coming for it all. Don't come bother me because I know how to hurt your feelings.
So would you say you're a troll?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. And I was trolling with that. Like, I made a real pretty penny off them DMs with Offset when they first announced that they was separated, this, that, and the third. Hell, I'm monetized on every platform. I ran a checkup on Facebook, just joking. She went and found my shit, and I was like, this how I know you. I got you bothered. You still tweeting about me 3 days later. You done went on Instagram Live, a whole rant on your Instagram Live. Like, girl, it's not that serious. You want to be friends. I don't know what it was, me specifically, but for real, it wasn't that serious to me. Like, it's cool. I don't know how it got to that vibe, but yeah, like made the Breakfast Club and everything. Just Hilarious was talking crazy, like I wasn't defending her with trans women. Like, you got some nerve. Like they weren't calling you a homewrecker with Country Wayne. How dare you?
Damn.
Come on now, like, watch how y'all point their finger, because I'm around. I'm in the mix. I see all this shit.
You just be coming to people next, huh?
It's the principle, bro. Like, you can have your opinion, but I think with celebrities, it's just always the preferential treatment. And a lot of times people, you can't, like you just said, if you was a person doing what I was doing, you had the audacity to try to tell me about myself, you can't pick and choose when you want to be humanized. You can't tell me, oh, just respect respect me as a person. I'm still human, and I still want you to understand that I get tired, I get sick, I get this, that, and the third, but then at the same time, you also trying to tell me how much better you are than me. That shit like that don't work for me, because I'm going to go right to the human part. I'm going to go right to the human part.
Damn. So you also known on social media for your takes on, like, I don't know, did they say you're a pick-me?
Pick, and I'm picked.
A pick-me that's already picked. So why do they call you a pick-me?
They call me a pick-me because they feel like I have ideologies that are skewed towards men.
I think you're just in agreement that a lot of the women are unrealistic about the standards that
I
are being
feel like
set.
a lot of women try to rewrite history too.
Yeah. When we say rewrite history, what do you mean?
They have this thing where they always talk about like black women, like we're so docile, or we be pushed over and run over by men, and we never had a voice. And I don't know in what history they'd have been, but black men, the only group of men that ever gave their women a voice. Y'all have always listened to us. We've always been included. And then it's just also kind of like one of the things where it's so funny to me because they talk about how men are, so emotionally detached and this, that, and the third, are so mean or so ruthless. And when you think about, have you sat down and talked to an older black woman like your grandma?
Yeah.
Do she watch her tongue?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, no. My aunties, I'm from the country. I'm from the Delta. They don't give a fuck about what they say. They don't watch their tongue.
When they talk to who?
Anybody. If they feel a certain type of way, they get it off their chest. They don't hold their tongue. Now, they may they're more likely to not say nothing at all than to bite their tongue. And that's a huge difference.
That's what I was talking about.
They probably not say nothing at all to avoid what it could be versus bite their tongue.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't grow up around women who were passive. I didn't grow up around women who just took everything. No, they quick to tell you how to carry yourself, how to watch yourself, or this, that, and the third, and they don't give a fuck if you a woman, man, boy, or girl. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're gonna say how they feel. So I feel like a lot of it's rewriting history with how they try and paint the narratives of black women specifically. I didn't grow up around docile, subservient women who just go for anything or take anything off of anybody. Hell, even each other. The way my aunties and my mom is, they can get into it, but don't you jump into it with them, because they gonna get on your ass.
Yeah.
You leave them alone.
Yeah. And what do you think the difference is between, I guess, that generation versus this generation?
Soft. They want everything pacified. We're spoiled adults. We're spoiled adults. Now we're in an era where you have to be mindful of your verbiage because you might offend somebody. Or you have to be very lackadaisical, or you have to be real passive about how you handle certain people. And it's like, if I have to make myself uncomfortable to make you comfortable, I don't want to fuck with you.
Sorry, I forgot I had to get something out my bag. You said if you have to make yourself uncomfortable
to make somebody else comfortable, I don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah, I agree, because I was actually had this conversation with somebody on the timeline last week, because they was like, hey, if somebody tells you something about yourself, you should look towards and change it. Like, bro, change for who? If this is how I am and you don't fuck with that,
then what we doing? Because I'm just one of them.
And I'm not. And let me say this: I'm not above like
criticism.
change. Yeah, I'm not above criticism. I'm not above any of that. But if I like wearing black every day,
don't tell me to put on red.
Cause who the fuck? Oh, you just look so much to who? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like I need to change who I am as a person because somebody else doesn't like it. If I'm talking to a girl and she sees that I have a real chaotic mindset, or like I tried, or however I think, nigga, this is me.
But that's another thing, right? Like, for one, I'm at the point in my life where every relationship I have is a personal choice that I'm making to retain it, including my family members, because I'm in a sector of my life where I control everything. Mm-hmm. I control who I know and who I don't know. I control how much access people have to me. I control how I respond to situations with other people. Mm-hmm. So when I look into the dynamics and I go, well, why am I sitting here trying to pacify somebody for their comfort because they don't like something about me, when I can genuinely just be with somebody who understands that I'm a flawed person with great intentions towards them. Mm. And so I can accept you for who you are, even with the things that I don't like. I expect and I anticipate the same in return. Mm. Once I have to start making a lot of modifications and accommodations, I'm done fucking with you.
Yeah, and it don't have to be anything negative behind us realizing that this not gonna work.
No,
like people think like because we separate that mean it's hate. No, but if we're both, if in the beginning we're heading towards one goal, and somewhere along the lines we figure out like, okay, you want this, I want this, so it's obviously not gonna be it's not fuck you. Mm-mm. It's just me realizing
I'm cool on it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And we can still be friends. If the situation necessitates that.
Peace is costly. And I've gotten to the point where even with the new friends that I make, I don't want to bother people. You know, like,
what do you think is bothering people?
No, not specifically. I'm just saying I don't like being a pessimist or bothering people in general.
Or feel like you're bothering somebody.
Right. So peace is very expensive. When you get to a point where you realize, hey,
hold on, before you say that, you cool being alone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah.
Yes. First of all,
because I'm the same way.
Running joke, my friends always tell me I act like an only child, but I have siblings.
Yeah.
They tell me I act like an only child. I'm the one person where it's like when I'm going through something, even with my man, like social media was one of the biggest catalysts of this. I don't have the pleasure or luxury of getting online talking shit. Because automatically they going to feel like, oh, that nigga doing you wrong, ain't he? Mm. Or I don't have the luxury of getting online just ranting about my family. Because it's always somebody on some platform that is associated to me, knows me personally, knows where I'm from, know my mama, and they going to run it back. So I have to keep a lot of things.
You tell everything but change all the details.
True. Or I can just, which I do now, I find another way to mediate and decompress and dissect it, which is get the fuck out social media with these problems and go address these people, or you go take a walk until you calm down.
You know what? That's another thing that I realized that I have to, let me see. Oh no, my wing nuts are gonna get eaten. That's another thing that I realized that I have to like. Well, it's something I've realized over the past year or two. But, you know, sometimes you just have to accept when you're defeated for the day.
Yes.
I lost. I'm going to try again tomorrow.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm going to try again tomorrow. I think, like, the last time that I had that last noticeable time I had that conversation was Halloween last year. It was not having a great day. So I just sat down and was like, you know what?
You got your ass beat.
The day beat
you
my
got your
ass.
ass beat.
And, you know, instead of trying to make every day a good day, accept the bad days.
That's true, too, because it's something to be learned in all of it. And when you have humility, you get to understand that you shouldn't expect yourself out of other people. That's just what it is. Like, one of the reasons why I don't care for the word humble in its regard,
I don't like
because
humble at all.
it's literally to minimize and reduce who you are as an individual for other people. I don't believe in conforming, because since a child, everybody has told me to shut up. Like, I running my mouth for a long time. I'm glad it's getting me paid now. But since a child, everybody been telling me to shut up. They don't like what I gotta say. But now I've learned where there is a time and a place, right? I don't try to win in arguments in my relationship. I'm not his opponent. I'm not trying to defeat him by far. What is it that we need to correct mutually so we can progress and we can keep going? I'm not trying to win in situations with my mom, right? Now I'm an adult woman. There's a level of respect here where you got to see me as your equal. Even though we share this role with each other, mother-daughter, but at a regular standpoint, it's a lady named Bethel that could be in my job that's the same age as you, that's treating me just like we one of her homegirls. So it has to be a level of respect, a mutuality across the board. But with that, you do have to learn to have humility with people that you love and you respect as well.
And also, like what you're saying as far as respect and growing into respect with your family. Like, I remember, like, when I was a kid, it was an older family member that used to always be like, you know, the verbiage was, oh, well, make him do it. Make him do it. Well, no, you know, as an adult, you can't make me do shit.
You can't make me do a thing.
Like, I'm gonna respect you, and I'm gonna go out of my way to make something happen. And I'm like, even if it's to my detriment, I'm gonna try to do that. But to say make is like, you do this or else, or else what?
It's consequences to it.
Yeah.
In the verbiage, it's a lot different.
If the police go say, all right, I'm gonna make you move your car, you gonna tow my shit. That's gonna be.
It's a consequence.
It's a consequence of that. Now, if you gonna make me talk to somebody, what if I want to talk to them?
I don't have to, you know. And I've learned that it's a very fine line. Like, a lot of the things that I will always say, right now today, they're not creating. They're not breaking generational curses. They're just creating new ones.
Gotcha.
I don't think that everything that we were taught or we were, you know, raised to do growing up was perfect, but the foundation is set. Yeah. And if you feel like you turned out so great, why are you so hell bent on removing those things and proving a point through your children? Because I know my parents did a great fucking job. Now, there were times where I felt like they should allow me to be a little bit more vocal, or they should have instilled a little bit more trust in me. Because a lot of times with Black parents, it's ass backwards. You want to give a lot of responsibility. You don't want to give a lot of trust. Yeah. You want to pick and choose when you want your kids to have dominion. And you can't operate like that, because if you don't teach me the world will, it's best that you teach me. Yeah. Because I know you're going to protect my interest and you're going to keep me safe for the most part. But all in all, again, like, it ain't everything, but it is a lot of things that we are lacking today. And decorum is one of them, you know, simply having respect for yourself and how you carry yourself, and learning how to pick and choose when it's a time and a place to engage in certain things, or how to carry yourself in certain manners. Like, the elders didn't have it wrong in their regard at all.
Yeah. I think when it comes to how this generation engages with the older generation, I feel like it is getting more, what's the word I'm looking for? It is, folks, it's
rebellious.
It's a crash out generation. This is a crash out generation.
Deviant.
Yeah, deviant. Like, people.
There's a lot of mischief.
The things that people are advocating for now,
it's disgusting.
Like, even when it comes, like, I hate to, like, beat a dead horse, but, like, even when it comes to the thing that happened with CARDI and Offset a few weeks ago, and, like, people were like, oh yeah, well, yeah, that's get back. She should fuck the.
And that's why they call me a pick me, because it's okay to acknowledge when a woman that fucked up.
Like, telling women that it's okay to go out and have sex with different men while you are pregnant is like, no, those aren't the same things. Like, a man going out and having sex with another woman while his girl pregnant, that's not the same thing. Whereas a woman going out and having sex, like, nigga, it's a dick on your baby forehead.
Now, I will say, before I get to in my bag, I will say that men do like to pick and choose their moral standing. You can't tell me, if me and you having a child together and I'm pregnant, we're not running the same risk if me and you still sexually active. Because I know we not fucking with a condom, considering the fact that there's a baby involved.
Yeah.
So if you go out and you are sleeping with another woman, regardless, you know, of what the situation is, rubber or no rubber, and we still sexually involved, you're giving me the same risk as me directly going to sleep with another man. Now, the other parts of it, you know, like having some type of self-respect or some type of decorum, like a lot of the times, this is why I don't fuck with a lot of the ideologies on social media, because a lot of the shit don't be genuinely because a girl trying to do it for the love of the game. You're trying to do it because you want to play get back with this nigga, but you don't realize how that makes you look, because even in that sector they saying, oh, it's about time. The only reason y'all are validating this is because you knew what he did.
Listen,
not because you know she's not doing her due diligence as a parent, and you still want to be championed as the best parent. It don't work that way.
I don't know. I don't have any problem with this lady at all. But Miss B Nasty put out a tweet yesterday about
Yuck.
wanting to...
Disgusting.
She wanted to have sex with a Detroit Lions player.
To spite her baby daddy.
To spite her baby daddy.
And take the son to the game.
And I feel like that is maybe 2 B Nasty tweets in the same month that was out of fucking line. Because at what point do you think giving another nigga some pussy is one up?
Making a detriment to this man. He don't give a fuck. He don't care. And then when women try to make this whole thing like, y'all don't know what be going on in the background. Okay, well maybe you shouldn't also tell us what's happening in the front,
because you just look crazy.
You look insane.
It's like if you slap shit out of me right now and I don't say nothing, but as soon as we got to hear, I punch you in the fucking face. What they gonna think? They don't know what happened in here.
They gonna think,
I don't say nothing out there.
Oh, he a real nigga. He put his hands on her.
That nigga just beat the shit out that girl.
Tore her up
for no reason.
Dog stuffed the eye.
God damn. Whereas you know it ain't me just firing off on your ass. You know you slapped the shit out of me. But if I don't say nothing,
I'm gonna say this, and hot take, right?
Hot take alert.
You can be anti-men and still be male-centered.
Ooh.
You can be anti-men and still be male-centered.
Break that down.
Just because you're saying something in the adverse of doing something for men, if you're doing it solely because you're trying to be rebellious towards a man's thought process or his ideologies, you are still male-oriented. Everything you're doing is still defined by men. You're still being trained in their leadership and in their guidance. I'm the type of person where I won't let a breakup or mistreatment of an intimate partnership define who I am and how I love. It hurts me to my core when I see women that say, I done had a nigga dog me out before. Another man ain't never gonna give me that soft. And I'm like, why not? Because these men, they don't know, da-da-da-da. You only dated one man.
You gonna judge me off the shit this nigga did? But it's not about
you. This is the issue. Men jump into those conversations and make it about them when really y'all should be saying, why are you changing who you are because of what you went through?
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're such a good person and you have all this love to give and it was done genuinely, nothing about your experience should change you at your core. And that's why a lot of these relationships, I don't respect the way that they're done or how women go about them or approach them, because you were trying to convince him to love you so you can benefit from it. Your participation in the relationship wasn't organic, because if you only felt like you doing that was supposed to reap you a benefit of you being with him forever, and it didn't work out that way, you were never genuine.
Yeah.
You were trying to coerce him into loving you.
Coerce into loving you.
Yeah. If a woman's sitting here and she count tabs, I did this for you, I did that for you, and I'm this way and I'm that way, and I'm a good woman, and I wasn't cheating, and I was coming home every day, and every time you needed me, I was there. Oh, so you were doing what a partner was supposed to do?
Yeah, it's a lot. It is. I do see a lot of women that want credit for doing things
what you were supposed to do. Like, and why?
Even when it comes to like cooking for a nigga, it's so many women that hold that like as like the thing. Like, oh, I never cook for a nigga. So if we rocking with each other and we're getting on that type of vibe, I need to marry you to get a plate of chicken Alfredo.
But you can get some sloppy toppy in the back of a parking lot right now, like nothing.
But cooking is I personally
cooking is not the epitome of all things a wife does.
I don't think cooking is
substantial at all.
I don't think it's as intimate as people make it out to be.
Because I cook often, and I don't want you in the kitchen with me. I don't want you in the kitchen. Listen, I do things because I genuinely enjoy them. I've been cooking for my family since I was like 5. My grandma used to be a cook for white people. She used to be a chef for white people. So when I grew up, all the pots and pans and everything was in the house from her. Like, you know, they used to let her have old china and stuff that they didn't want. And so my dad, he taught me how to cook early. I was cooking for me and my brothers when my dad and my mom used to work late. So cooking is kind of like a thing where it was inherent for me. It wasn't something that I had to learn to keep a man or something like that. And
also, I think another thing is sometimes it's not even like the intricacy of the meal or the quality of the meal, but like sometimes niggas just be busy. Like sometimes it's days like this where I know I'm not gonna get home until like 8, 9, 10 o'clock.
It's consideration.
Yeah, like it don't even gotta be nothing crazy. We make a nigga a sandwich.
It's literally consideration.
Like I'm not asking for no 5-course meal every time I come home. But like if I'm talking to a woman and she is, and I do have her in the position to where you at the crib chilling, because right now I pay all my bills by myself. So if I get with a girl and she's staying with me,
all she doing is coming in comfortably.
Anything else you do is extra. You put some groceries in that motherfucker or something. Right. I'm not asking you to, but you can do that.
Right.
So if you're chilling at the crib all day and I come home, been out all day, I come home 9, 10 o'clock, and it ain't nothing.
Well, she ain't even got to be chilling at the crib. She can go do a 9 to 5, right?
She could.
But if she comes, my thing is, it's a such word as duty. Because if me and you together and we fall out right now, you can't say, bitch, I ain't paying that rent next month. You can't say that. But we do weaponize things that shouldn't be actually weaponized.
What's weaponized in that situation?
Not
from the man.
Not from the man.
Oh.
Women weaponize sex. Women weaponize their affection. Because when we get mad, now we don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't get away from me, things like that, or weaponizing the idea of catering to a man, such as cooking, or if you piss me off, now all of a sudden this one day I don't want to wash your drawers. But you never have the opportunity to say, bitch, I ain't getting them tires rotated. You don't have that leisure, because in a relationship, whatever your duty is, right, wrong, indifferent, anger or not, that is the practice of you having a successful, sustaining, committed relationship.
Yeah, because I'm not going to hold this shit over your head.
Even when I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And that should be the same way across the board. And that's where I don't resonate with a lot of women today.
Because they try to hold the fact, okay, well, this nigga, he made me mad, so I'm not going to suck his dick like I normally suck. Or I'm a ghoster, or not ghosting, but I'm giving the silent treatment.
Right.
I'm going to be short with him. Like,
but a lot of those things they're passively it's abusive, because you're trying to teach a lesson, and in a relationship you're not my mom, bitch. Like we're not children anymore.
Or it could be
so you're trying to find a way to coerce me into a form of discipline by you having, what do you call those, little tantrums?
But it's like and it's like this in a lot of aspects, not just relationship or personal, but like women will put a man through things, and he just got to put up with it sometimes.
Yeah, he just got to deal with it.
He just got to deal. Ain't no recourse for him to like.
We go into the conversation of, well, why don't men open up to women?
What's gonna happen?
Nothing.
I said this on the episode a few weeks ago. I was like not at this job, but like at an earlier job, a girl walked in and just kissed me in the mouth. Like, if I had did that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Real shit.
Oh, that's something.
And even if it was a situation, she was an attractive woman, but you're opening the door to things that could get me in trouble.
Absolutely, because if
Because
there's no cameras around.
Because if I think that's the energy, again, a situation to where if you do this to me and I do something to you later, who gonna believe that?
Or if there's no cameras around, there's no witnesses, and she just randomly did that, then all of a sudden you get mad, y'all have an argument or disagreement, she can go say, oh, you just walked up and kissed me in my mouth.
Yeah.
And then it's your word against hers.
Yeah.
And we're in a climate where people do believe all women, and I will never take that position.
Yes, and it's like, even like if that happens in my head, okay, this is our relationship now. This is our terms of engagement now. And I do something like
smack her on the ass.
Yeah, because
or fondle her breast.
Yeah, because you've made me believe like this is what it is, and it's not like that.
Yep.
Because I didn't ask you to do that shit.
And a lot of people play little different games because right now we're in such a hypersexual era, and we're in an era where people don't understand boundaries or playing too much. Like we're real adults now. Like we got shit to lose. Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself. That's why I don't really. I don't like.
Keep it, and not even like, not. I ain't talking about just hitting nobody. Just
I don't even
stop
like hugging.
touching people. I don't either.
I don't even like
stop
hugging
touching
at work.
people. It has to be mutually like I feel awkward hugging people a lot of times because you genuinely don't know what they intentions.
Like, what does a hug mean to this other person?
Exactly.
Like, it may mean something a lot more serious than it would mean to me. So it's not necessary. Like, I don't have to hug you. Like, we
cool. Dap you
up. Yeah. Like, it don't got to be nothing like that. But it's just, you're right. It's a lot of, it's very uneven. And like you were saying, you said you'd never be on
I
the
would
believe
never take the stance of believe all women.
I
would never take that stance.
Part of me is split on that because I've seen both sides. Like, if something bad, like a woman said something bad happened, right? And it really did happen, you would want to act on that as immediately as possible.
Correct.
But if she said something bad happened and it was like, what's embellished, it may not have been as bad as she's saying it was, which we've seen that happen as well. Yeah. Like, now you don't put this nigga in a blender for nothing. Yes. And something, it ain't no coming out of that blender.
Or
sometimes it's over for you forever. Like, whether you go to jail or not, your public image is tarnished.
Or it just didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
And that's always a option. From the actual happening to the embellishment or to never happened. I've seen it. Yeah. I've had like real good peoples of mine, like extended family. Young girl, he grown now, he not no minor no more. She a minor. She texting him, sending him all types of crazy messages and like, talking about what she gonna do and how she wanna do this. Wow. Like, she talking real nasty. Mm-hmm. She a teenager. He not no teenager no more. And he wasn't even fooling with her. Like, it was nothing. Like, he didn't even know how she got his number. She was like, oh, so you're not going to respond to me? I'm finna go tell the police you took advantage.
Yeah.
That's what she did. If it wasn't for them text messages where she's sitting there talking to herself, like, literally, you scrolling, like she harassing him at this point.
Yeah.
She talking to herself. But what can you do? What are the ways or limitations where you protect yourself? And then I'm a woman where I have a lot of males around me. I have brothers. I have nephews. I care about stuff like that because I have seen women actually lie. Mm-hmm. I have seen women where he don't do shit for his baby, but he done came by and dropped Pampers out, shot it. He done tried to go get school clothes, everything. And you talking about he ain't did nothing? No, he didn't put the money in your hand that you asked for. Mm-hmm. He didn't fuck with the baby the way you wanted him to. It wasn't the fact that he's not an active dad or he's not a participating father at all. You're trying to control how he parents. Mm-hmm. And then you want us to sit here and slander him and be like, oh, this, that, and the third. Like, no, I have men in my life that I see go through this shit. And like you said, what can they do?
Nothing.
Take it.
Nothing, because even if you talk about it, now you're bringing in a situation.
And there's always other ways people can justify how you can get out of the situation. Whereas, like, with one of the guys that I know, he's a parent. Hell, he just He just do everything through his mom. Like, want my child, want to deal with my child, this, that, and the third, but it keeps the peace down because I know she want me. We'll never be together. It ain't nothing she can do about it. Girl came harassing me on Twitter. Oh, you don't believe me? It got to the point where I'm like, I already know my audience. I can't even tweet this bitch back. So I'm just texting him like, I don't really know what she thought she was going to get from me or how she felt like I was going to receive this situation. But I already knew about this. You not coming to tell me nothing different. You can't follow me thinking you had a friend. I already knew about everything. You think I haven't defended you or got on his ass for how he participated in the part of the ways where you were disrespected? Because I'm not going to uphold no man in his wrong, but at the same time, the shit you doing is foul because you're not talking about this child anymore. You talking about your feelings and yourself.
Yeah,
and
sometimes they'll try to tie their feelings into
the situation as parenting. And one of the things that I can't stand women say, if you disrespect me, you will never see my child. But you doing a whole lot of motherfucking disrespecting. You talking crazy about this man. You bothering women. He trying to deal with. But that's what we were saying earlier about. You sitting up here doing a lot.
That's what we were saying earlier about like it being almost a penalty for making her upset.
It is.
Like you gonna
because you can't control a woman's emotions or her reactions, and that's why
you just have to deal with
y'all gotta. Like niggas love talking about having a whole lot of hoes, and I fuck with this
that
woman,
shit ain't fun at all, bro.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care how good you and this woman getting along or how y'all feel about each other. One thing you will never be able to control is how she feels like she's gonna react to a situation she done created in her head.
Like,
good luck, Charlie.
Like, let's remove the relationship aspect from it. I think the biggest, like for me, the biggest sign for that right now is how we have to treat the WNBA players versus the NBA players.
Hello.
Like, I'll never forget, this is the most insane situation I've ever seen play out. A few years ago, it was a player, she played for the Aces, and Andre Iguodala had said, oh man, 2-3 for the Aces is nice, or the Mystics, one of those teams. And she responded and said, say my name, or da-da-da, say my, the gist of it was, if you're not going to say my name, don't say my number.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about me.
But, like, as a former athlete, somebody saying your jersey number.
That's a prop.
Yeah.
Because I also was a former athlete.
So, like, but he called Michael Jordan 2-3 all the time. LeBron James 2-3. 8. What up, 8? You talking about Kobe
Bryant.
32's Shaq. Like, in football, it's the same thing. I see you 2. I see you 55. Like,
it's a thing in the culture where, like, when you playing ball, hell, most of the times your fans, your supporters, your family, your girl, they wear your number.
Exactly.
That's the culture of the game.
So, in a situation like that, why are we having to treat
women
differently?
And the answer is women's ego.
Like
I have found in so many situations, and we can take race and culture out of it, a lot of these dynamics are pacifying women's egos. And we love to talk about male ego and da-da-da-da, but the fact that trash talking is something that's common in sports, which that had to be explained before Angel and Caitlyn got drafted. The fact that, even something so simple as how they're getting critiqued or being called trashed or saying that one is better than the other in the comparison. That's what they do.
We gotta hear all this actually.
Right.
And well,
that's
like,
sports.
come on, bro. Like
that's
it's not, this shit don't even make it, like, it's not even fun
Everybody's
no more.
Getting compared.
Like,
everybody's
and
gonna
always
always be compared.
I think Angel Reese is a great player at what she does. I do think there are things that she needs to work on. Like, if I talk about Angel Reese field goal percentage as a player in the paint, that is her field goal percentage is very low for somebody that literally plays the baskets right here. Just put the ball up. Yeah. Like, if you want to talk about records and rebounds and like, okay, cool, but these are things that she needs to work on, but I can't say that about Angel Reese because you hate Angel. I love Angel Reese as a player.
Women.
I feel like Angel Reese and Aja Wilson are two of the most important figures when it comes to little black girls.
Aja.
Because everything that I do, like, I love everybody. No shade to anybody at all, but I feel like I like seeing when black kids have inspirations.
Me too.
Like I like
matters.
so Angel Reese is somebody like I didn't personally need it. I didn't have anybody that was like, okay, you can be like him. Everything that I created, I saw in myself. But I did have people who inspired me.
Correct.
Like, but I didn't need to be just like these people.
And it's crazy because at one point in time, that's what we used to hear all the time, especially for black men. Either you gonna throw a ball or you gonna rap. You gonna pick up a mic. It's one of the two, and that's gonna get you from wherever you are to go wherever you need to be.
I learned about the stuff that I'm doing now in college, and even in college, I just want to do radio. I just want to do radio, but now I find myself in TV and film production as well. So this is something that I had to learn and experience for myself. But with players like Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, even on the wrestling side, I love Bianca Belair. I feel like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are some of the best examples for young black women who want to maybe
Jade is so beautiful to me.
That maybe want to hop into wrestling. Because back when I was watching it, we had Jacqueline and Jazz.
And
that
even
was it.
Then,
they were never in the main event scene.
They were never around. It was the I think her name was started with an R, Rock or something, and then it's been a while. I used to watch wrestling. With my cousins.
it's been
and I want to say it was
between.
China. I think that
China was white.
China, right? They were present. They got a lot more camera time.
Yeah.
But those black girls, they weren't around like that.
No,
at
absolutely
all.
not.
And
but
what we see today is so
Jade,
important.
Bianca, Jada Parker, Naomi.
Yes.
It's a lot of black women that are wrestling right now. That's just on the WWE side.
And it's so important because I feel like too many times black people get limitations in what we can do.
And it affects their mentality.
I was just talking to my boyfriend night before last, and he was watching the LeBron's, I think it's called Starting Five. It's on Netflix. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. And I was telling him, I was like, it's so crazy that I know who his manager is, that I understand who Rich Paul is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine that a black man who is the actual agent for one of the best players ever to play the game. That matters. Like, imagine that. So many black men want to play ball, but you can't play ball. But you know what you can do? Have somebody you represent who does. Exactly.
Like, even when it comes to guys like Ozzie Newsome, I think let me look at this. He was a executive. So he's still with the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzie Newsome is a GM for the Baltimore Ravens, won multiple Super Bowls representing them. So that is something that people need to see.
It is.
So when we have these conversations about like exposure, I'm glad that the WNBA is getting this type of.
Need it.
They definitely need this type of exposure, but I think the players need to be.
But we can't start changing rules because it's women, and I think that
feelings are being hurt.
That's where I'm having majority of the issue because you can't pick and choose when you want equity.
Mm-hmm.
You want the same type of money that the NBA get. You want the same type of exposure. You want the same type of support that the NBA gets, but you want to minimize where it is with the ridicule. And if that's the case, then you're gonna stay exactly where you are with no viewers.
Yeah, because that is like, and I understand there are people. That watch the game of basketball for the WNBA that may watch for nefarious reasons.
Yeah.
So we cannot sit here and lie and say, all Caitlin Clark, people that say they're Caitlin Clark fans, they're not problematic at all. Some of them may be problematic.
That's true.
Some of them probably are problematic. Some of them are problematic.
That's true.
But there are people that are just fans of the sport of basketball.
That's the majority. But I can say the same thing. Like, when you get to a certain level of status, even aside from Caitlin Clark, there are some people that they just don't find anything wrong with what LeBron does.
Yeah.
And they will watch for nefarious reasons. They will watch just to be pessimistic.
Yeah.
And, they'll watch just because they're trying to find other things to put into their bag to say, when this comes up, I got another reason to defend this particular individual. It's not about basketball. It's about the people that are playing. The personalities or the faces of these sectors that play these games. And that's cool. But those people are not the ones we should be highlighting and focusing on. I think that that's one of the biggest issues in everything we talk about. Whether you're talking about relationships, whether you're talking about jobs, or whether you're talking about just regular commentary. We make the pinnacle everything negative. When it shouldn't be carrying the conversation. Yeah. Should it be involved? Sure, right? Some of it has good, merit behind it, like something you can check into. But the majority of it doesn't need to get as much attention as it does.
Yeah, I agree. Like, just keep it to sports. And I feel like that's a lot of time. That's very hard for people who already are coming in with the narrative. Like, me and my dog had a very friendly wager on who was gonna get Rookie of the Year between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and I was always confident. That's why I kept offering to double it as soon as the season started. Like, you sure? Like, you want to make it 1,000? You want to make it 2,000? I already knew I was gonna win.
Yeah.
Because like. It was never in doubt.
Right.
It was never, not one time throughout the season, even when Angel Reese was going through her record-breaking run, it was never a time when I thought like, oh, Angel Reese is going to win Rookie of the Year. You know why? Because I know ball.
Right.
I know basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I know sports enough to know that this is about the person who is the bigger impact on the team. Not the Spurs, I'm sorry. But the Indiana Fever ended up making the playoffs, and the Chicago Sky actually got worse when Angel Reese got on the team. That is not me. That is not a narrative. That is a fact. You can talk about, oh, they traded that. That's something that the team did.
Correct.
Based on the play that was going on the field. But you know what we did saw? Angel Reese trying to put up multiple shots in the paint while her team is down by a score that would have necessitated a 3-point shot.
And they doing some things that really ain't getting, that don't get done. And it's not even preferential treatment. They deserve that. To see them starting now, fresh out of drafting, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's nice to see, but it goes to show you the pinnacle of, heights that women have come in sports in general.
Yeah.
It also goes to show you, hell, like, nothing that they set a rule for can't be changed.
Yeah.
They'll make exceptions. You just go and do your thing.
You have to be the exception. Though.
Go do your thing.
But we can't ask for the bar to be lowered for people, and it's not specifically for women at all. It's not specifically for women when I say this, but we not even as black people, but like people in general, we can't expect the bar to be lowered for us to be able to enter certain conversations, because that's how mid shit is permanently getting put on a pedestal.
I agree.
Like, even with the music thing, like, not specific to the city of Atlanta, but I will speak on Atlanta. When Atlanta's a city where everybody thinks that they are popping because of their affiliation to somebody else.
I know.
So you have people who may be Lil Baby's blunt runner, right? But because they have this access to Lil Baby, and that access to Lil Baby is probably in their head better than anything else that they would have done on their own. Yep. Now they think, oh, well, I'm that nigga. I'm Lil Baby's blunt runner. Whereas to me, you're a blunt runner.
You work for him. You're an
employee. Oh my God. But people will make entire careers out of their association to somebody who's popping. And I think, for me personally, that's crazy. But if that person, from their perspective, if they never saw themselves being higher than this level that they're at right now, this is a win.
Kim Kardashian did it.
Kim Kardashian had a family of people with high aspirations. The bar was high for her. The bar was high for Kim Kardashian.
She was working with Paris Hilton. And she was adjacent. She was in the right. I would say she was in the right places. But she was in the right closet. True. I would also say that we spend too much time focusing on anomalies because the majority of the time, this is not what's happening.
Yeah, and anomalies is something that Twitter is in love with. Twitter loves it. Like, we all know
Russell Wilson and Sierra.
We all know when they post that
money
when they post that picture of the black kid with blonde hair, what the conversation is. We love anomalies, boy. We love anomalies on Twitter. That too. But that it nuance also doesn't exist on social media, because
no, it doesn't.
You can't have even when it comes to the herpes thing. Oh, well, everybody has herpes. No, the fuck I don't. I look at my dick every day.
I don't get why they go out of their way to try and make everything negative absolute.
Because it's the attempt to normalize certain things that they want to. Listen, I'm very sex worker friendly, but I do think it sounds crazy to me when we are promoting to 18 and 19-year-old girls that, hey, you just pop your pussy on OnlyFans, you can run up a bag. That's how we have certain situations like this. Like the situation.
No.
That was so stupid.
Let's go back. We're advocating for 18 and 19-year-old girls to have autonomy, to be able to exploit themselves sexually for the gratification of men, that you would later demonize those same men and call them pedophilic if they were just simply 5 to 8 years older than them for wanting to establish a relationship with the same 18, 19-year-old girl. That's where I have the problem. You are promoting them into degeneracy. And what they don't talk about, because again, for some reason, on the internet, not just Twitter, sex workers seem to be the pinnacle of the masses. They are not. They're very, 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 very small, minute part of the country. Extremely small. When we're talking about women having autonomy, what I can't stand is when it comes to sex work, it's something you're doing because you just in love with the game. When it comes to you having sex with men because you genuinely are heterosexual and attracted to men, now it's something being done to you like you're being taken advantage of. That fucks with my mind. Because innately, as a person, you're not supposed to be able to be so sexual to the point where you disconnect and you feel nothing behind it. That's not a thing. So you're already psychologically fucked up when you're creating scenes and you're just having casual sex in a manner where there's no type of attraction, no type of anything. You're just doing it to monetize. You're just doing it because you need content.
Hey, listen. We disagree. I love hoes. I love hoes. I'm a very sex worker friendly person.
I didn't say that hoes shouldn't be loved.
I love hoes.
But
I'm a whole rebuilder.
You're not going to convince me as a woman who genuinely love men. And I enjoy the company of men. I like being around. I'm one of the partners for real, like
one of the bros.
If I want to engage with a man that I genuinely like on a sexual basis and I want nothing from him, you're not going to convince me you're better than me because you getting paid for what you're doing. You're not going to convince me that. Or you're not going to convince me you're better than me because you are requiring him to do some grand feat to appeal you just to get some lackluster sex when I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And I'm probably finna give him some way more enjoyable coochie.
Coochie snapping like that?
I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna just say the experience of Paris is a wonderland.
A night in Paris. I know that's a lot of women named Paris that probably have beaten that title to the ground. We need to come up with something more creative for the intimate encounters with Paris.
They not me. But I'm a wonderland. I'm really paradise. I ain't talking about just the sex. Like, it's a pleasure to know me. It's a pleasure to be around me. It's a pleasure to have access to me because I control who gets it, how much you get it, and not to make it seem like I'm just so different than other women, but I do care.
I think that's another thing that's really making the relationships hard in this and not talking about any specific person. I mean just like in general, when there is any type of, I think it's being promoted that if there's any type of like bump, it's time for you to get off the ride.
True.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, and I don't believe in that because it really defeats the purpose when a lot of people talk about spinning the block. If that's the case, you just need to learn to conflict resolute better. I genuinely believe a lot of people have surpassed their partner already because they don't know how to. Conflict resolution is going to be.
I got my wife blocked?
Possibly.
Damn.
Yeah. If you got a person that you constantly talk about, let me just say it like this. I don't believe that a person can be good to you and not good for you. That's some bullshit.
Explain that.
Colloquialisms are giving people outs for them to continuously go into a circle. You still shopping and you finding the same item. It's just a different color.
Yeah, you're gonna leave one relationship because he did something just to get in with somebody else. And that's another thing too.
Well, it's not that they're doing the same thing. For one, you're not learning to process this.
But they're doing something that you don't like and you're like, fuck it, I'm out.
Right. But let's remove the behavior, right? The behavior from the other party. If you are constantly having this one issue in different facets,
you're not learning how to navigate this issue.
Yeah.
You changing people isn't going to make the issue go away, especially when, one, you're comparing them to other people. Two, you also keep going back to the person that provides you the most comfort.
And also, changing people is crazy. But thinking that you about, like, I believe for both sides of the gender pool, saying that, oh, black man doing me this way, I'm about to go get a white man.
That's
Or
stupid.
or black woman doing me this way, I'm about to go get a white woman. I
That's so
think that's
stupid.
the stupidest shit. You think
That's so
white
stupid.
you think white men don't cheat? You think white men don't beat on their women?
They all do the same thing.
Everybody, every dick is cut from the same cloth. And fellas, if you think that this black woman is stressing you out and the Latina and the white woman is going to do the same thing,
so
you are an idiot. The thing
ignorant.
is, you're going for a different class of white woman.
And what makes it even more stupid is the fact that not only do men innately behave the same way, but you're trying to pedestalize something you've never experienced.
Mm.
All you got to do is just sit down and talk to people. I know as black people, we're typically in proximity to other black people, but it's okay to go talk to other people. Or if you don't feel comfortable, just get on Reddit. Just get on Facebook. You'll see it.
Reddit is the go-to. I got the Reddit app on my phone, and I'll accept all the space it takes up, because Reddit is like, if you got a question about anything and Google's not putting it together, somebody has been through that exact same thing.
And it's so crazy that you will see that a lot of, and this is why I say it's so, I've seen, like, my cousin used to have a white girl. When he had her at home. Of course, my aunties didn't care for her, whatever the case may be. It's just off of principle because of where we from, you know. But the way that black men more so engage and interact with white women, that ain't something I would be bragging about.
Mm-mm.
They take them down through there. And I know, like, we all experience things with men. But even if a white woman talk, you know, back, or she has, you know, a certain type of, how do I put this? Not necessarily aggressive, but if she has a backbone, even if she speak up for herself, I don't know, it's something about it. Like, and they just don't care. Like, they just jog them out for real. Like, I could never see myself sitting here getting angry or upset at how a black man is with a white woman or being with a white woman. For one, that is the anomalies. Also, they're very, very small portion of black men. For two, that ain't nothing to brag about, because they don't be in better situations.
They getting drugged through the mud.
They don't be in better situations by far. So it's just kind of one of the things where it's like, you got to stop looking at the grass as green on the other side, because for one, the type of men that these women be with, a lot of times, I don't want them.
Mm.
I'm not the girl that's looking for a trick or a baller. No, a bitch better love mine for who he is. He better not be able to give out nothing. Like, it ain't a thing. I don't understand that. I don't conceptualize that. I don't fool with men who got to pay for pussy. I don't fool with them. You not my type of man, because you don't have no control.
If you were raising a son in this generation of women, what would you tell him?
Look everybody in the eye when you talking to them. Don't be afraid to say no when you don't feel respected. And learn to pick and choose when confrontation is necessary.
Okay. Pass the terrorists.
You stop it.
Yeah. Fire out the backup. That was this episode gonna be named Fire Up the Backup page. Fire out the backup.
Hey, well, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've been trying to get me out of there. They've been trying to suspend me, baby. They want me gone off the internet.
They want you going on.
They doing a petition.
Mute Paris?
Nah, fuck mute Paris. They want to ban me. If they get their coins right, they can put it all together and get Elon, to go ahead and turn it over to him. That's about the only way you're going to get me off the app.
Nah, you gonna pop up with another account like Slim.
I just go I'll just go to a new platform.
TikTok. You on TikTok?
I am on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
I got right at 200,000 followers on TikTok.
Okay, cool. So TikTok gonna love these clips too. Yeah. Listen, this homecoming season, I'm about to get outside.
Homecoming. I'm probably gonna go outside too.
I'm about to get outside. I'm about to pop.
I gotta go meet with some people while I'm here.
Yeah. So Paradise Paris Paris and Terrace in the building, kicking with your homie. Another episode, and we gone.
Bye, y'all.